911, what's your emergency?
There's been a shooting at my neighbor's house. Please hurry.
I've lost my sister.
The 911 call wasn't about a dog. It was about a gunshot. When police in Boston got the call in November 2019, they were prepared for the worst. But what they found inside was a different kind of horror. A kind that starts not with hate, but with love. We all like to think we're in control, especially with our animals. We train them, we love them, we know them. But what if that's just an illusion? Let's go back to that 911 call. Inside that apartment lived 73-year-old Geraldine McGinnis and her husband, Leon. They were known as kind, animal-loving people. And for over 10 years, they'd owned pit bulls. On that night, one of their 3 dogs suddenly attacked Geraldine. Her husband, in a desperate act to save her, shot the dog. But it was too late. The attack was too severe.
Stop it. The victim's husband is still in the hospital. Their pit bull mix, Deuce, was euthanized. And their 3 other pit bull mixes are now with animal control.
Neighbors had complained before. They told the building manager that having 3 large dogs in a small apartment felt unsafe. But Geraldine and Leon loved them. They were experienced owners. They thought they had it under control. 10 years. They had these dogs for 10 years without a problem. How does that even happen? It makes you wonder, if 10 years of experience isn't enough, what is? Now, if you think 3 dogs in an apartment is a lot, meet Dominic Cooper, a 35-year-old father in Compton, California. Dominic wasn't just an owner, he was a licensed breeder. He had a whole pack of pit bulls, 13 of them, including 5 puppies. He raised them from birth. His friends said he was a great dad and absolutely loved his dog.
Graphic footage, which we will not be revealing, shows the dogs ripped off most of the 35-year-old man's clothes, in addition to fatally biting and mauling him. Neighbors and animal advocates are stunned.
People need to take better care of their dogs. People need to understand that these dogs can kill somebody and hurt people.
One morning in February 2024, Dominic went into one of the kennels to break up a fight between 2 of the dogs. And in an instant, the entire pack turned on him. The very animals he had raised and cared for his whole life. He was found lifeless in the enclosure. He never stood a chance. This is what I mean by the illusion of control. One man was an experienced owner. The other was a professional breeder. They did everything right. But in the end, the primal nature of the animals took over. It's a chilling thought. Sometimes the tragedy isn't that it happened, it's that it could have been prevented. Sometimes the warning signs are there, flashing like bright red lights. But for reasons we can only guess, they get ignored. In October 2023, a 68-year-old man living alone was found being mauled by his own dog, a Mastiff mix. Police had to shoot the dog to stop the attack, but the man died from his injuries. The tragic part? This wasn't the first time. Animal control records showed this exact same dog had attacked someone else before. The owner had been taken to court over the dog's aggression. He was warned, officially, that his dog was dangerous, and he chose to keep it.
So we came out to see what was going on. They pulled up into the neighbor's driveway. Shortly after that, another police car came up.
Why? Why would you keep a dog you know is a risk? Maybe he loved it too much. Maybe he thought he could handle it. We'll never know, but it makes you ask, where does loyalty to a pet end and self-preservation begin?
You know, I know that he had guardian dogs there for his livestock. He was good with his dogs. The dogs were good with him. It just really totally shocked me that it would be a dog attack.
Kahim Robinson was a 41-year-old man trying to get his life back on track. He was dealing with homelessness and the recent loss of his daughter.
He got a pit bull for companionship, for comfort, but he knew the dog was a problem. His neighbor, Deborah, told reporters she had warned him just days before the attack. She told him, If you don't get rid of that dog, it's going to turn on you. Kahim himself admitted his dog was, quote, wild, and kept it in a cage most of the time. In April 2024, the dog got out of its cage and did exactly what his neighbor feared.
A gruesome and tragic police-involved shooting in the Bronx.
Officers called to a home in the Longwood section. They found a man who was being mauled by his pit bull. Those officers opened fire, shooting the dog and killing it. That man suffered devastating wounds to the neck and leg, and he was taken to the hospital, but sadly did not survive.
It attacked him, and he bled to death. He knew. The owner knew the Mastiff was dangerous. Kahim knew his dog was wild. These weren't sudden betrayals. They were ticking time bombs. It's a hard pill to swallow, but sometimes the signs are there for a reason. But what about when there are no red flags, no warnings, no history of aggression? What happens when the attack comes from a pet that was, by all accounts, a gentle, loving member of the family?
Kevin Russell was a 28-year-old farmer. For 3 years, he and his wife had kept a large pig as a pet. They had other livestock, but this pig was different. It was part of the family. The local sheriff later called what happened a freak, weird accident. In October 2023, while Kevin was tending to a minor injury on the pig, it just snapped. It attacked him with its tusk, slicing a major artery in his leg. He was bleeding out, fast.
2 teenage neighbors, Titus and Noah, saw what was happening. Noah ran to call 911, while Titus pressed down on the wound. A true hero. Kevin survived thanks to them. But the question haunted everyone. Why? They had the pig for years. It never showed any aggression. The family was shocked. The sheriff was shocked. This is the kind of story that truly makes you feel powerless. There was nothing they could have done differently. Leonora Hill, 72, was a retired teacher in Florida. For 25 years, a quarter of a century, she and her husband bred and raised Catahoula dogs. They were experts, known for how much they loved their animals. In January 2024, one of their own dogs, one they had raised, suddenly attacked Leonora.
Her husband, Jim, rushed to help and was severely mauled himself. Leonora died at the scene. Again, no history of violence, no warnings. It was a sudden, tragic betrayal by an animal they had loved and trusted for years. Investigators wondered if a hidden medical issue, like a brain tumor, could have caused the sudden rage. Sometimes that's the only explanation left.
These are the stories that scare me the most, the ones that come out of nowhere. It's like a reminder that no matter how much we love them, they are still animals with instincts and triggers we might never, ever understand. There's a special kind of bond people form with powerful, often dangerous animals. It's a relationship built on respect and sometimes a little bit of fear. But can that love and respect blind us to the inherent danger?
This morning, a Pennsylvania man is recovering after police say they were forced to kill his pet snake that was strangling him.
27-year-old Elliot Sensman of Pennsylvania was a snake guy. He'd loved them since he was 10. He was known for rescuing abandoned or abused snakes. He was an expert. He owned several, but his prize was an 18-foot boa constrictor. His family said they knew this particular snake was aggressive, but Elliot insisted he could handle it. He loved it. In July 2022, he was alone in his home when the snake did what snakes do.
28-year-old male with a snake wrapped around his neck.
It wrapped itself around his neck. A family member found him unresponsive on the floor. When police arrived, the snake was still coiled so tightly around him that an officer had to shoot the snake in the head to release its grip. Elliot died in the hospital from lack of oxygen to the brain. He knew it was aggressive. He was an expert, but his love and confidence created a blind spot. He went into the enclosure alone, and it cost him his life.
The man was alive when he was rushed to the hospital, where he was still recovering as of yesterday. It's not clear what type of snake it was or why it turned on its owner.
It's not just exotic animals. Robert Eckel was described as a kind person. He got a pit bull as a companion. His brother said the dog could be nervous sometimes, but never seriously hurt anyone. One morning, the dog attacked Robert in his room. His brother Alan tried to get in to help,
But the dog charged him too. By the time police arrived, it was too late.
Robert had a bond with that dog. He cared for it, but he either didn't see or underestimated the danger of its nervous energy. It's another case where a deep emotional bond might have tragically clouded someone's judgment. Our final story isn't about death, it's about survival. It's about how thin the line is between life and death when you choose to own one of the most dangerous creatures on Earth.
In March 2021, a man in Raleigh, North Carolina, was bitten by his pet. This wasn't a dog or a cat. It was a green mamba, one of the most venomous snakes in the world. A bite, without antivenom, is almost always a death sentence. He knew he was in a race against time. He drove himself to the hospital. But there is a huge problem. There was no green mamba antivenom in the entire state of North Carolina.
Man's life was flown in from a zoo in South Carolina. Joe Fisher now unraveling this interesting chain of events in a story you'll only see on WRAL.
As the man lay in the hospital, a desperate search began. They found it at a zoo in a different state, South Carolina. A helicopter was dispatched. They flew 10 vials of the life-saving antivenom across state lines. The doctors administered it just in time. It was a miracle. He survived. He was a licensed keeper. He had a secure enclosure. He did everything by the book, and he still got bit. And he was incredibly, unbelievably lucky to live.
The sooner you get it, the better, obviously, especially with green mamba bite. It's a neurotoxic venom, so it's going to affect your breathing. So that person immediately went to the hospital, which is the right thing to do because you may stop breathing pretty quick.
This story, for me, sums it all up. So, what do we take away from this? These 10 stories aren't meant to make you hate animals. They're meant to make us think. They show that love isn't always enough, that control is often an illusion, and that a wild animal is always, at its core, wild. These owners loved their pets, but that love didn't save them.
What do you think? Do you believe some animals are just too dangerous to be kept as pets, no matter how much experience you have? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Which one of these stories stuck with you the most? If you found these stories as compelling as I did, please give this video a like and subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating and sometimes terrifying true stories. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay aware.